The hatred between Zelensky and Putin is unfathomable. But I'll probably have to get... They hate each other so much they almost can't talk. They're incapable of talking to each other.
Do you expect NATO to issue sanctions against Russia as you asked them to do over the weekend?
Well, they're not doing the job. NATO has to get together. Europe has to get together and do it. Europe is buying oil from Russia. I don't want them to buy oil. Whether it's natural gas or whether it's cigarettes, I don't care. They're not supposed to be buying from Russia. That means you're guilty, right?
NATO to issue sanctions against Russia as you asked them to do over the weekend?
Well, they're not doing the job. NATO has to get together. Europe has to get together and do it. Look, Europe they're my friends, but they're buying oil from Russia. So we can't be expected to be the only ones that are, full bore. But Europe is buying oil from Russia. I don't want them to buy oil. And the sanctions that they're putting on are not tough enough. And I'm willing to do sanctions, but they're going to have to toughen up their sanctions commensurate with what I'm doing.
But just to clarify, you wouldn't move ahead until NATO moves ahead.
Well, I'm ready to move ahead, but they have to do it. I think they will. But right now they're talking and they're not doing. Look, they're buying oil from Russia. We're not buying oil from Russia. They're buying a lot of oil from Russia. That's not the deal.
So on Putin, 2 weeks ago you told us that you would decide who was more to blame for the impasse of the talks, whether it's Ukraine or whether it's Russia. How are you feeling right now?
But when you say impact of what?
The impasse. Sorry, but nothing's happening.
The impasse?
Yeah.
It's not going to matter because when they go in, they're going to be very, very strong. So it's not going to matter.
What are you planning?
Maggie, go ahead.
Mr. President, European nations do still buy, some of them buy natural gas from Russia. Would you like to see that pulled back as well?
That's not the deal, though. The deal is they're not whether it's natural gas or whether it's cigarettes, I don't care. They're not supposed to be buying from Russia. We're spending a lot of money giving. Now, I will say this. Right now, we're just selling weapons to NATO. It's pretty amazing. Biden spent $350 billion. I'm spending nothing. In fact, we're making money. But I want to stop the killing. So it just came out, or I think it came out, but I know for a fact, almost 8,000 young soldiers died this week between the two countries. A little bit more from Russia, but divided. When you're the aggressor, you lose more. I don't know if you know that, but in war, when you're the aggressor, you tend to lose more. But it was a little bit more for Russia, but it was 8,000, a little bit more than 8,017, actually, died this week in that war. Why? And they're Russians. They're not American soldiers, but they're still human beings. They're souls. And I want to stop them. And I stopped 7 wars. I thought this was going to be an easy one for me, but this has turned out to be tough. The hatred between Zelensky and Putin is unfathomable.
Do you still believe that they will talk? That they will have a...
I don't know. I think I'm going to have to do all the talking. They hate each other.
When do you think that will take place?
I don't know. Relatively soon.
Has any of the NATO
We're going to get it worked out one way or the other, but relatively soon.
Has any of the NATO
They hate each other so much they can't breathe. So I'm going to have to get involved.
Has any of the NATO members responded to the letter you sent yesterday?
Yeah.
Can you tell us
They know it's true.
Can you say
They
who?
don't want to deny it, They said, well, I'd rather not talk about it. I said, what do you mean you'd rather not? That means you're guilty, right? Yeah, no, they agree. I mean, look, they're buying oil. And they're buying it through a couple of countries that are selling it. So they're not buying it directly. Countries are buying oil from Russia and selling it into certain NATO countries. Not all, but certain very substantial NATO countries. That's not the deal. Okay? We all set?
Just one more.
Are we all set?
We're good. Hugo has one.
Sorry, last one. Just to clarify then, you anticipate the next step with the Ukraine talks to be a summit, like a trilateral summit?
There'll be talks, whether you call it a summit or just a get-together. It doesn't matter. But I'll probably have to they hate each other so much they almost can't talk. They're incapable of talking to each other. Thank you.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.